이토록 더 아름다운 걸 점점 불빛도 아닌 우리 때문일까.
Hi everyone, welcome here. It's BTS comeback season. We're all so excited, can't wait. This video is all about what's a comeback, how do you prepare for it, what are our comeback goals, and how do we achieve them. So get comfortable, we're gonna break it all down, don't worry. It can be a bit overwhelming at first, but you'll get the hang of it. If this is your first comeback, don't panic, and it will be fine. It's such a fun time to be here, and welcome to the fandom, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, before we start, I just want to stress that and make sure you all know that all the revenue from this channel is going towards the BTS comeback. So you can come back to this video as many times as you want. Make sure to click on ads if they pop up. Please skip only after 30 seconds, because like I said, all the revenue is going directly to the comeback. Now, let's get started. So BTS announced a new album that's called BE, and they also just announced a brand new single called Life Goes On. Make sure to pre-save both on Spotify and on Apple Music. And I hope you're excited about this. I'm super excited. Comeback season is crazy, it's fun, it's exhausting, it's chaotic, it's the best time to be in this fandom. But what is a comeback? And where did BTS go that they need to do a comeback from? So in case you don't know, if this is your first time experiencing something like this, BTS didn't go anywhere. A comeback is just a Korean term for when an artist returns after a while with new music. Usually it's an album, sometimes it's a single. For example, when Dynamite came out, we call that a comeback as well. At least we called it that way. But basically, it's just mean the artist is releasing new music. Okay, so like we said, BTS is releasing a brand new album called BE and a brand new single with it called Life Goes On. We still don't know how many songs are in the album. We don't know. We don't have almost any detail. All we saw was one photo, and it's super exciting. Now, BTS did release an option to pre-order a deluxe version of the album. We still don't know if there's going to be a standard version. I would assume there is. There usually is. Plus, if you only have one version, then it's not the deluxe version. It's just a version, right? So if usually there's deluxe, there's also a standard. And you know that if you have standard versions, that's where the money is, because people can't afford to buy the deluxe. The deluxe is expensive. So most likely there will be a standard version. Obviously, I don't speak for Big Hit or for BTS, but most likely there will be a standard version. I'm assuming we're going to get some info in the next couple of days, maybe even today. So with every new comeback, we set goals that we want to achieve. Now, because our fandom is constantly growing, we always set the goals higher with each comeback. And that's a very positive and motivating thing, but it can be very discouraging if we don't achieve them. Because we set out, and if we don't achieve, some people get depressed, they start blaming people. That's not the way to go. Goals are something we set, it's not something BTS set. And it's very important to remember that sometimes we just don't reach it. It can be for numerous reasons. It could be something that we did wrong. It can be something that we don't get radio spins. We don't get, YouTube decides to delete views, which they will, for sure. So, but how much views they delete varies. So it's something that we need to be aware of. We try to achieve those goals, but those goals might not be reached. Okay, so keep this positive. It will make everything more enjoyable. Stay away from negative comments. This isn't the time for them. Now, saying that, setting the goals is a very, very tricky situation, because if you set the goals too low, then people don't really have a drive. And if you set them too high, then people get discouraged if they see we don't reach them. So in this video, I took the goals from BTS graphs, which set with numerous accounts to set goals they saw fit. But if you go, for example, to XLS video, which also did a comeback goals video, and you should definitely watch it. A, because it has a lot of information. B, it's because all the money from that video is going towards the comeback as well. So definitely support it. She has different goals because she said with different people about it. They're all pretty much in the same ballpark. And again, it doesn't really matter 10,000 plus minus views. So it's not set in stone. It's something we try our hardest. That's the main thing. A goal is just like a place to reach, but if we pass it, that's amazing. If we don't reach it, it's okay. Goals are just something that we should strive for. They're not set in stone, and they're not given from us from God. Okay, so do your best. That's all you can do. And really, the most important thing is enjoying this time. Okay, so when comeback comes, it tends to be very chaotic. There's a lot of information, and we already know that that first week of comeback, not only is the album drops on 12 a.m. EST, which is 12 p.m. KST, together with the new MV, most likely. Not only that, but 2 days later, we have BTS performing their debut stage on AMA, on the American Music Awards. 2 days later, we'll find out the Grammy nominees, whether BTS are nominated for a Grammy. So already that first week is gonna be chaos. We know it, it's always chaos. And it can get very overwhelming. So now I'm gonna give you the 411 on how to handle the comeback. And first, let's start with preparations, what we can do now to prepare ourselves for the comeback. So the first and most important thing is to know how the charts in your country work, because what's right, for example, for the US might not be right for the UK, and so on. So make sure you know how the charts in your own country work. It's very important, and that you know how to maximize your viewing, your purchasing in order to help those charts. The second thing is to buy the album and the single from the right vendors. For example, if you live in the US, you should buy from Amazon, from Target, from the Weverse USA store, not from the global store, because that way it won't count for Billboard. So you have to know where you buy the album from, and that it will contribute to the charts where you're from. Okay, so make sure you buy the album from the right vendors, and always use official links. Don't go and search for something that might be a discount. It's very tricky. You might not get what you want. You definitely won't be helping the charts. So make sure you stick to official vendors. Okay, start saving your money now. Why is that important? Because comeback costs money. Like, even if you already bought the deluxe version, and even if you didn't, that's okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a standard version, but we don't know that. In order to achieve the goals that we set, these goals cost money. We need to buy albums, we need to buy songs and singles, and chart them, and that costs some serious money. So what we do is we try to buy it multiple times, or we try to donate money if we can to achieve those goals. And if you can donate and you can help, then that's amazing. But it's something that we should prepare for. It doesn't come easily, especially in these chaotic and problematic and hard times. Not everyone has the means immediately to donate if they don't plan ahead. Also, if you choose not to buy, if you choose not to donate, that doesn't mean anything about your army status. Okay, like, we all just do our part, we do what we can, and if you can't, then that's completely fine too. One of the ways you can support the comeback and donations is, like I said, you can watch videos from the CD Fund playlist on this channel, or watch XLS video on comeback fundraiser, and those videos are all bringing in money to support the comeback. So watching those videos, clicking on the ads, not skipping ads only after 30 seconds, all of that helps bring in money for the comeback. So if you can't donate, you can watch those videos, and you're helping just as much. Okay, and it's free. We're taking YouTube's money to do it, so it's even better. So yeah, but planning ahead financially wise is really important. Now, for the day of the comeback, I always try to clear my schedule that day just because it's so much fun. A, we stream like crazy, we work at it. B, there's constantly tweets and noise and chaos, and being a part of the engagement with ARMY and talking to everyone and chatting with everyone is just so much fun. So I strongly suggest to, if you can, try to clear that schedule that day. Try to carve out times where you can be a part of it, because it just brings it all up a whole other level. Now, if you're a YouTube ARMY or Instagram or Facebook, I really, really recommend joining Twitter to be an ARMY, because the level of engagement is just so much fun. It's so much great. Like, I never had social media before this, but it's just so much fun to talk to fellow ARMY and see the excitement and see theories and all that. So if you can, clear your schedule. Now, another thing that's very, very important to prepare for the comeback is to get premium accounts for all streaming services. Okay, that means YouTube, that means Spotify, that means Apple Music. All of those, in some countries, if you have a premium account, you contribute more to the charts. For example, in the US, if you have a premium account, it counts 3 times as much for the charts, for the Billboard charts. So it's very important to use premium if you can. Now, all these streaming services, they all have free trials. So you can just create an email account or use yours if you haven't done that already, and just get a month-long free trial for the comeback. And that way you can participate in it and not have any issues with it. So getting premium accounts is very, very important. Speaking of streaming, another thing that you should do is learn how to stream effectively, because it may sound simple, but it's actually very, I wouldn't say complicated, but there are certain rules you need to know in order for your streams to count. You don't want to spend all these hours watching videos and then having those numbers be deleted. It's also very discouraging to see YouTube just delete millions of views because people didn't stream properly. So make sure you know how to stream. And we will talk about it on this video as well. Now, when you buy the song or the album, not the album, but when you buy the song on iTunes, after you buy it, no matter what you're planning to do, after you buy the song, make sure to delete it from your library. Why? Because if you, after this, go and stream on Apple Music, those streams will not count if you have a song in your library, because instead of streaming on the platform, it's streaming directly from your library. So it will not count. After buying on iTunes, you must delete the song from your library. Do it immediately after doing it, because otherwise you'd forget, and then you'll go stream, and then it won't work. Okay? So very important. After buying from YouTube, iTunes, make sure to delete the song from your library. One of the biggest tips I can give you is curate your TL. And what I mean by that is that you need to decide with yourself what you want to see and what you don't. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of happiness, a lot of positivity in comeback season. But there's also a lot of negativity that comes from people like aunties or from solo stands, and it can really dampen the spirits. So you have to think for yourself whether you want to have that energy during something that can be very positive and happy. I suggest, and this is just my suggestion, you don't have to take it, you can ignore this completely. Obviously, this entire thing, this is just my suggestion. You don't have to take it, do what you feel feels right to you. But the way I see it, if you see a bad tweet, replying to it or screenshotting it usually results in this whole situation expanding and making everything worse. It just amplifies it. So it's very hard, but more often than not, it's better to just ignore it. I know it's hard. It's very hard, but it's better to just ignore it. Now, I also suggest muting words like deserves better or line distribution, LD, all these kind of words. It will do wonders for your TL, because all these people do is count lines and measure out how much each member was a part of this album. Now we know this is the most BTS album there ever was, which is so exciting. And BTS are grown men. They know how to voice their opinion. We always joke that Big Hit is actually Jin Hit. So trying to baby them and count lines when it's something that they themselves don't do, I don't see why we need to do it. And I personally mute words like that because it's not something that BTS has taught us to do. Like, they don't do that, so why should we? But like I said, that's my opinion on it. I don't do, if you see a hashtag trending, X deserves better, trending hashtags is not the solution to everything. It's usually, if you look into these accounts, they're usually either solo stands or they're new accounts that are always questionable in these times. And especially, like, you'll see like a October 2020 account saying, this person has always been wronged by Big Hit and stuff like that. So think about these things and curate your TL appropriately to what fits you. And of course, the most important thing is to have fun with this entire thing. Comeback are fun, they're engaging, they're exciting, and you should feel that when you experience it. So don't, if you don't, then take steps to make sure that you do, because again, it's supposed to be fun. You get new music from one of your favorite bands or your favorite band, so there shouldn't be negativity around it. Okay, so now we talked about how we're going to prepare for the comeback, but let's talk about what our goals actually are. Okay, and like I said, you might see different goals in different places. I took the goals from BTS Crafts, who sat with a whole bunch of fan bases and decided that these are the goals. Some may have higher goals, some may have lower goals. It's very hard to decide goals for an entire fandom, especially when there are a lot of things to take into account and we don't know how much the fandom has changed over the years and stuff like that. So over the last few months, we don't know how much we've grown since Dynamite. We don't know how YouTube is not going to react. We don't know how radio is going to react. So we have to take all these things into account, and it's very complicated. Like I said, we don't want it to be discouraging, but we don't want it to be too easy either. So it's very hard, but more or less all the accounts have pretty much the same goals, plus minus 10,000 views. It's not that much of a big deal, okay? And like I said, goals is something to achieve, to try and achieve, but it doesn't make or break a comeback. If you don't achieve a goal, it doesn't mean that comeback was a failure by any means, okay? I'm sure we'll do great, and keep the spirit positive. Now, goals. So first of all, we want 7 million pre-sale albums worldwide. This can be very tricky if there isn't a standard version, which is another reason why I strongly believe there will be one. But 7 million pre-sale album sales is what we're going for. On Billboard, what we want is 700,000 album units, 150,000 title track sales. Jimmy said they want all the B-sides on the B album to chart on Hot 100. We don't know how many songs that is. It's very hard to achieve, but we can try. We want number 1 on Billboard 200, number 1 on Hot 100, which can be tricky. Now, both of these we should be able to achieve, but we also are going for longevity. So we're not just going to talk about number 1 on the first week, but we should strive for on the second week, on the third week as well. We want number 1 on Billboard Global 200, number 1 on Billboard Global except the US, number 1 on Billboard Artist 100, number 1 on Billboard World Albums, number 1 on Billboard Top Social Artist. So a lot of goals for Billboard. So YouTube goals. We want to reach higher views in the first 24 hours than Dynamite. It might not be possible, but that's the goal we're setting. So 105, 110 million views that first 24 hours, as well as 9 million likes. It's very difficult, but hopefully we'll manage to achieve it. There are a lot of other things coming into play when we're talking about those first 24 hours, but we should try our best. We're also aiming for the biggest YouTube premiere. Dynamite has the biggest YouTube premiere with about 3 million viewers watching. So we should try to aim for about 3.5, 4 million viewers on the premiere. first week viewing for the MV, we want to be around 230 million. In some places you might see 250 million. We're trying to aim high. We want we don't want to see the stream decrease too much after that first day. Okay, actually, because the charts are weekly charts, we should remember always that we should stream the entire week at least, and obviously after that the entire month, and so on and so forth. But we shouldn't let the views drop too much after that first day. We should keep fighting as hard as we can. Okay, on iTunes, what we want is number 1 in 105 countries for Life Goes On, and number 1 in 100 countries for B. In other videos, other goals, you might find these numbers at 110 and 115. These are very high goals. Can they be achieved? Yes. Are they hard to achieve? Yes. So it takes a lot of work. It may not be instant, and we should take it into account. Getting number 1 on iTunes has a lot of other factors in it, which are not completely clear. A lot of work from fan bases, and it takes a lot of work. So again, I'm personally setting the goal a bit lower and in accordance with BTS graphs, but you might see higher goals on other videos or infographics. On Apple Music, that first week, we want Life Goes On to have global top 10 and US top 25. B, we want it to have global top 5 and US top 5. That's for the first week. On Spotify, I know it's a lot of goals. I know, don't worry. On Spotify, what we want is number 1 on global charts, 8 million Life Goes On filtered streams, and 45 million B unfiltered streams. In the US, the first day, we want number 1 on the US chart, 2 million filtered stream for Life Goes On. The first week, in the US, it should be 1.5 million Life Goes On filtered streams. Again, in some places you might find higher goal numbers, and that's great. If we can achieve them, that's amazing. If we achieve those, that's also amazing. So don't be too confused about it. Again, goals. So yeah, goals are great. We set them with the hope to surpass them. Right? So that's it. In Shazam, we want 300,000 Shazams that first day and 600,000 Shazams that first week. So now we set all these goals, but how are we going to achieve them? So here it is. For Billboard, in case you don't know, Billboard 200 is comprised of album sales and stream sales, whereas Billboard Hot 100 is sales, streams, and radio spins, unfortunately. Now, this album is in Korean. Life Goes On will most likely be in Korean. We can't count on radio to play the lead single, to play Life Goes On. Definitely not as much as they play Dynamite. They have a reluctance to play non-English songs. They have a reluctance to play BTS, even if they see motivation for it. So we can't count on them to play that song. And that means that we should act like radio spins don't exist, because we can't count on them for being there. If we get radio spins, that's great, that's bonus. But if we don't get radio spins, which is the likely option that we'll get very low radio spins, we're just gonna have to deal with it. And dealing with it means that we have to maximize our sales and our streams. So regarding sales, what I'm saying now is 100% towards the Billboard sales, okay? So if you're not from the US, if you're not from Puerto Rico, the only way you can contribute to these numbers is by donating money for accounts like Funds for Bangtan or Borahe Funds. It's not by using VPN. It's not by trying to buy from the Weverse USA shop. It's not. You won't be helping. So don't try to rig the system. Don't try to play around. If you are not from the US or Puerto Rico, your way of helping is by donating money. That's your way of helping the Billboard charts. That's it. There is no other way. Okay? So what I'm saying now is directly to US and Puerto Rico Army, which are amazing, and they work so hard. and they did such an unbelievable job with Dynamite. And thank you for that. So, US and PR Army should buy songs individually. Okay, don't go on iTunes and buy one song and then press the complete the album. Don't do that. You buy each song individually, and then you have the option to buy the entire album. That's how it works. Now you can also buy usually the song and the MV, so don't forget to buy the MV as well. A big misconception is that if you don't have iPhone, you can't buy on iTunes. That's not true. If you don't have an iPhone, you can use the desktop version of iTunes and create an Apple account, an Apple ID, and buy it there. Okay? Everyone that has a desktop can use iTunes. Now, after you buy a song on iTunes, make sure to delete it from your library right after purchasing, because if you after this go and stream on Apple Music, those streams will not count. So make sure to delete the song from your iTunes library. Gifting a song on iTunes doesn't work. It doesn't help the charts. So don't do that. It's just a waste of money regarding charts. There will most likely be a website by Big Hit, by Columbia, that you can buy directly from there. There's also a chance that the song will be discounted there. So make sure to buy it. Now, when you purchase an album or a single, you can't buy it more than 4 times in a single purchase. So you should buy and then go back to the website and buy again, if that's what you want to do. If you want to buy it 8 times, you buy it 4 and then you buy it again at 4. You can use the same credit card, it doesn't matter. Just make sure to split the purchasing. Now, and you have to remember, when you go to a website like Amazon or Target, you have to be aware of this, that you have to buy at max 4 albums. However, if you buy from the website the Big Hit provides, like they did with Dynamite and they did with On, you'll find that you can't buy it for more than 4 times anyway. They put a block on it, and that way they make sure that your purchases count. Another thing, if you're not from the US, if you're not from Puerto Rico, no VPN, no trying to fake purchase anything, okay? Just donate the money. Regarding streams, for US and Puerto Rico Army, don't watch on embedded websites. Don't watch on Weavers. Views don't count for Billboard. They will count as views, but they will not count for Billboard charts if Billboard can't verify where you're from. So you have to be logged in. And to be that, you can't watch on embedded sites. Those views will not count toward charts. So make sure to watch it from proper streaming services. Make sure you have a premium account on all those streaming services, that you have a premium YouTube, a premium Spotify, a premium Apple Music. You can sign up for a free trial, so that's not an issue. Streaming, premium streaming counts 3 times as much as normal streaming, meaning your views will count 3 times as much. So make sure to use premium. Stream as hard as you can on multiple platforms. Don't choose just a single one. You can play them one on top of the other, and you can use multiple platforms, because all platforms count. And the most important thing is stream effectively. What does that mean? I'll get to it. How to stream on each platform. Keep listening to this video. We'll break it down. Now, let's talk about, we talked about goals. We talked about what we need to do. How do we stream effectively? So how to stream on YouTube effectively. The biggest thing about streaming is to stream like a human being, not like a robot, okay? And if you have that mentality, all these rules I'm going to say right now that were all created out of observation and are not set in stone and weren't like given to us by any entity, they will all make sense, because real humans don't watch like people who just try to up the views, okay? So make sure to stream like a human. What does it mean? It means you don't loop a song. You don't just play Life Goes On over and over again. I know it's very hard, especially in the first hour, where you just want to watch the song again and watch the MV again and see each member and concentrate on each member and read the lyrics again and all that. You can't do that. Which, if you ask me, is like the most human thing to do, but you can't do that. You have to watch the song one at a time and not keep looping it. Don't use a playlist. It's a big no-no to use a playlist that first 24 hours. Why? Because playlist views are only counted once every few days, meaning if you watch it on playlist, those views will not count until a few days later. So they will not count for the first 24 hours. You're basically watching, but you're not helping achieve those first 24 hours. So there's no point in using playlist at that time. Don't mute the song. If we're saying we're listening like a human, we have to actually hear the song that's played. So you don't mute the song. You also try to watch it at a higher quality, at over 480 pixels. Okay, so no muting. If you want to get around it, just you can mute the computer itself, or you can just plug in earphones. That's completely fine. Just plug in earphones and then don't put them on. Don't play YouTube on incognito. You're supposed to be logged in. Again, you're supposed to act like a human being. So you should be logged into your account. So no incognito mode. Don't have multiple YouTube tabs on the same browser. You can have multiple browsers, but don't have multiple YouTube tabs. And basically, if YouTube recognizes a lot of streaming from the same IP address, it can be problematic. They might decide to delete the view. So don't have streaming parties all at the same place. Split it up. You can use multiple browsers, but don't go overboard. And no multiple YouTube tabs. Okay, one tab per browser. Don't use VPN. We're not trying to rig the system here. So there's no reason to fake where you're from. Be logged in. Be completely transparent that you're a human being who's listening to this song. And listen to the entire song. Don't stop after 15 seconds and go to the end. Listen to the entire song. If you have ads popping up, if you don't have a premium account and you have ads popping up, skip them after 30 seconds, not before. Like I said, we shouldn't loop the song. So in between each time we play Life Goes On, we should play 3-4 songs that are not the title track. These videos that we play in between can be a mix of other BTS MVs as well as videos from other channels. Now, sure, you can play lyric videos there and you can play react channels there, but it would be better and more productive if you watch other BTS MVs, as well as you can watch BTS MVs on other channels. For example, Heartbeat and all the Japanese releases are on different channels. So if you listen to those, it's like you're watching a different artist. It's not an issue. You can also watch the video that XLS did on fundraising for Bangtan, or the videos on the Planet Army CB Fund playlist, because revenue from all those videos will go directly to the comeback. So you're actually supporting the comeback by watching those. Again, only if you want. It's not a must. You can watch, because it's better to watch other BTS MVs, but if you want to mix in other sites, these videos will help support the comeback. Try to comment on the video when you watch it. So when you watch Life Goes On, make sure to comment, but don't spam it with comment. Don't comment multiple times at once. And regarding emojis, you can use emojis, just don't overdo it, and make sure it seems human, that it's not just a bot pressing a purple heart a million times, okay? Keep it human. Also, don't go commenting on other people when they do tweet with emojis. It just seems rude. And it also seems like bot behavior, because if you copy paste, don't comment emojis, you're not helping anything. So yeah, search for Life Goes On every time you want to watch it. Like I said, we don't use playlist, but it's very good to search for the song, because it lets YouTube know that you are actively searching for it, and it helps it trend. Also, watch videos from YouTube recommendation on the right or left side on the screen. It will also help things trend better and make views count, but because you're engaging with the website, you're engaging with the YouTube algorithm, which is very important. Like I said, be logged into your account, no incognito mode. Multiple browsers are okay. Try watching Life Goes On 4 times per hour. To some, it might seem like a lot. To some, it might seem like few. 4 times per hour is pretty much how it should be, because you watch 2-3 videos or 3-4 videos in between. So 4 times per hour is great. Share the MV on social media. Like I said, engagement. The more you engage with the YouTube algorithm, the better. Now, eventually you'll go to sleep. Instead of putting on a playlist, you should put on a queue, because a queue views count directly. How you do that is through the YouTube, either browser version or desktop version, not the YouTube app. It doesn't work on the YouTube app. You can tell it, add this song to a queue. And that way you get a queue of songs. You can add the song multiple times. You can create the queue as long as you need it to be. So you can do like an 8-hour queue and just go to sleep without any worries. And it will play the song every 4 plays like you wanted. And it has a lot of diversity because you can add as many songs from as different things as you want in between. It has no issues, and it's it's basically creating a one-time playlist. So it will not become late like playlist, but it allows you to go to sleep and still help. And yeah, and these are the rules for YouTube. I know it seems a lot, but I promise it's basically just watch like a human being. Whew. How to share on Spotify, how to stream on Spotify effectively. Basically, use a playlist, change playlist every 2-3 hours, have 3-4 songs in between each time you stream live goes on, play other BTS BE songs in between, as well as other BTS songs in general. Now, in addition to that, you should play songs from other artists. Best thing you can do is play other BTS solo songs in between, because they are considered other artists on Spotify, but they still are BTS songs. Again, don't mute the song. It's supposed to be a human listening, so no muting. Now, last but not least, how to stream on Apple Music. The biggest misconception regarding Apple Music is that you can't play Apple Music on Android. That is false. You can have Apple Music on Android devices and on your desktop. So it's not an issue. Everyone should be able to stream on Apple Music. If you bought the song on iTunes, make sure to delete it from your library first before streaming on Apple Music. Otherwise, your streams will not count. So make sure to go to library and delete it. Now, you should use a playlist when streaming on Apple Music. You can have just 2-3 songs in between each time you stream live goes on, so it's less than Spotify. Change playlist every 2-3 hours. Play other BTS BE songs in between, and play other BTS songs as well. Play songs from different artists, which can be BTS solo songs. And don't mute. Don't mute the song. I hope this was clear. I hope I didn't overwhelm you too much. I know it's a lot. But that's how streaming is. And that's how a comeback is. Take your time, go through it. You have 20 more days until the comeback, so there's no rush to take it in. The more you watch this video, the more revenue will go towards the comeback, so it's win-win. Make sure you have it all in your mind. You can contact me on Twitter at Omer Rose if you need help, or on the Planet Army. I'm here for you. And let's do this. We can do it. Fighting.
어쩜 이 밤의 표정이 이토록 아름다운